Hey, Tony Gas is here, popping in. Now, couple things. First, we got class on Saturday for the aspiring authors. Don't forget that. And next Wednesday will be the next release of the second episode of the Singles House. Now, this is something that Patreon, when I started the Patreon, I did it to do film projects. If you did not know, the first film project is Titles. If you missed it, it's a scripted project. And one of my supporters from YouTube, she wrote it, she directed it, she produced it. So again, a one-woman show, and she put together a team to help her with that. But she was basically like Tyler Perry on that project. And it was really good, and I hope we get back to that. But again, it's not easy to write those scripts, and she wrote the first one. And the second one that we thinking about and talking about, you got to figure out, which route to go. It's not as easy as it looks. And on the non-scripted, the unscripted one, this one was, it was run and gun. And on the other episodes, we had the camera sitting still. But what you got to understand about this, the purpose of this is kind of to be like a fly on the wall, to listen to singles talk. Like if you come in, and I've been on television, some of y'all have seen me on VH1 and BET and different shows talking. If you come in and you're a person who you work a corporate job, or you're an entrepreneur, and you come in and it's a bunch of cameras and it's a bunch of mics and you getting mic'd up and it's cameras, how likely is it for you to be yourself? Like, how likely is it for you to be completely? And I was told that two of the young ladies, the two black young ladies, Sig, and I call her Sig, but her name is Sight Glamour, and Jessica was very, hesitant at first to open up, and rightfully so. It's like you're afraid of being dragged online. You're afraid of people coming and looking at your perspective and ripping you to shreds just for being human. And then some of the guys talked to me and was like, man, I don't know if I need to edit out, if I need to change some stuff, because of just being raw and real. And this is real life. And this is what this is about. This is what this is supposed to be. And the problem with us as humans a lot of times is we want everything to fit our comfort zone. So even I don't curse at all, but the brother on there, Lex, he cursed like every other word. I understand that is how, that's a certain group you're around, a way you're raised. That's just how you express yourself, and that's real life. And guess what? I trust him. After watching episode 1, and I've seen episode 2, I trust him. Like, I honestly would allow Lex to date my daughter. If I had a daughter, I would allow Lex to date my daughter after talking to him and getting to know him, because what I found out about him through them couple episodes is that he is afraid to be vulnerable. That he wants love, but it scares him. And he is a faithful person. And he said on there, a man not gonna say that with that much conviction. And not, he was like, when I'm in, I'm locked in. A girl with a fat butt could walk by and I'm not even checking for her. And that's hard for me. You can ask my wife. I be trying to catch my neck. It look like I'm spasm trying not to. A lady wrote in the other day, was saying, Tony, do a man like you, can you see another woman as more beautiful than your wife, even though you love her? And it's like, mostly women do not want the truth. Do not want the truth. You do not want a man to bare his soul, to be honest. And so many women say, oh, I want a man to communicate. I want a man to be open. I want a man to be vulnerable. I want a man to be real. Just speak your intentions and I'll respect your intentions and just speak your mind and I'll respect it. But then as soon as men get opened up, and these are everyday men, these good men, these the men on the market, as soon as that happen, oh, these men thought process making me cringe, and oh, these men, thank you so much for that. Oh, these men this, and oh, these men that. My wife brought me some Starbucks. And it's like, do you really want the real? Like this real life. Like, I don't know Lex, but I know MJ and I know Caleb, and I honestly believe MJ and Caleb gonna make great husbands and great fathers. But when they talking, you're not gonna agree with everything. You're not gonna understand everything. But that's the difference between a male and a female. Left hand don't like the way the right hand do stuff. Right hand and vice versa. Left foot, right foot. Black and white. We don't understand each other. Black people don't understand white people like that. White people don't understand black people like that. Asian and Hispanic. So what you have to realize is that there are a lot of nuances to this single life. And everybody walking their own journey and walking their own path. And that's why I say I appreciate the people who got the wisdom to look and appreciate what these bold singles were willing to do. And also to understand, like, it ain't a lot of people on YouTube with legal money producing content. Like, we had 2 young ladies fly in from Texas for this show. We had a young man fly in from the Bahamas for this show. The other people had to drive or fly hours for this show. And then you got, it's like this right here. It's coming from Patreon. We only got about 300 supporters on Patreon. And the average donation is $10. So you're looking at $3,000. So with $3,000, you can't produce a series with $3,000 because just to rent the house alone is $3,000. Let alone if you have to pay for 6 flights. One of the flights, round trip flights, was $900. So if you paying for all the flights, that's another $6,000. Now you at $9,000. The camera guy gonna want $400 to $800 a day. The sound guy gonna want $400 to $800 a day. So if you got 3 cameras, and if you got a sound guy, and then the lighting guy gonna want $400 to $800 a day. So now if you got 3 cameras, so you right there at the minimum $1,200 a day. This was 3 days. So see, I say that to say for the people who don't understand production, and that's on the low end, and how expensive it can be. Oh, you should have 3 cameras. Okay, you want to help pay for it? Oh, you need to have this and have that. Are you gonna help pay for it? Now, if you sitting on you a bankroll and you believe in the mission, reach out and say, "Hey, Tony, I'm gonna put in 5,000 and give me an executive producer credit." So when the credits roll, executive producer Tony Gaskins, executive producer John Doe, executive producer Jane Doe, and add that to your legacy. Let your legacy be a part of something productive, something positive, bringing good dialogue and content to the world to help people have some introspection. That's what this is about. It's not about judging and critiquing those people. It's about putting a mirror on yourself and looking yourself in the mirror to evaluate your mindset and how you look and feel on your take on these topics. Not to look at them and judge and critique them like we holier than thou, like we better than them, and like we sit and it's our job to judge them. That's not what this is about. Those humans. And I guarantee you, if any of us sit down and we open and we raw, and we express what's on our mind, all of us will say something that'll get us canceled. Every human being is cancelable. Every human being is repulsive to somebody. Every human being is unattractive to somebody. So this is not about sitting and looking and deciding if we like these people. This is about using this conversation to formulate your thoughts and feelings on these topics that these bold souls were willing to confront. And so we shot this in Central Florida, which is probably where I'll have to continue shooting it. But as you realize, it's like each person has to have some type of readiness or some type of desirability. Like, it's a lot of women who like the bad boy look. MJ and Caleb don't have tattoos. But I saw a young lady say, hey, Lex is mine. Lex got tattoos. You know, it's a quote that says, if you don't curse, I don't trust you. So I don't curse. So a lot of people think that I'm fake. Lex, he cursed every other word. So he actually builds trust and rapport with people because you know he being raw. You know he not putting on. Like, other men could be on there. We could go on there and we could not curse, but yet put hands on a woman behind closed doors, but not curse. I never cursed. When I was an abusive boyfriend in college playing football, I did not curse. I did not drink. I did not smoke, but I was a toxic lover. That's what I need you to understand, is that if I'm allowing this on my platform, that means I have the mindset and the understanding of the nuances of people and how we can't put people in a box. And we can't just judge people based on one thing. Oh, this guy got muscles. MJ got muscles, so he must be like this. Caleb got a fresh haircut and he talk really, you know, he speaks and expresses himself well. He must be like this. Oh, Lex curses, he must be like this. Jessica or the other young lady, you know, they must be like this. Oh, she must be loose, or she must be a devout Christian. You can't put people in a box like that. Can't put people in a box. What you do is you use the conversation like you a fly on the wall. And so me personally, I could be very critical. You know, this is my brand. I protect my brand. Like, I don't collaborate with people. I never let cursing on my page. But I realize that it's a shift happening and that it's real life happening. And if I just try to create and curate this utopian world, then when you go into the real world and you meet the real world, you're going to be shocked. And that's what happened to so many women, is they daddy is Superman. And then they go in the world and realize ain't no man Superman. And that they did not know the dark side of their daddy. They just saw their daddy highlight reel, but they didn't know that their daddy choked their mama before. They didn't know their daddy cheated on their mama. They didn't know their daddy done cursed their mama out because their mama hid her tears because they wanted to protect the children. So then women go out looking for this man that does not exist because she don't know her daddy. But she thinks she know her daddy. And she bragging about her daddy. He the greatest man in the world. He the smartest man in the world. He never cheated on my mama. You ain't with your daddy 24 hours a day. Only man ain't cheated on a woman is Jesus. That's the only man. Every other last one of us done cheated on every woman we done never dealt with. And that is real life until a man come to a place to where he no longer needs to cheat. To where he no longer wants to cheat, to where he has the mindset and the mentality and the maturity not to cheat, to where he could be locked in and focused. But that take growth. You're gonna have to see a man at his lowest before he get to that place. You're gonna have to see that, like, this perfect man that does not curse, he does not drink, he does not smoke, he does not cheat. He thinks you the most beautiful woman in the world. He doesn't recognize the beauty of other women, and that it may be features that other women have that you don't have that he appreciates, and that doesn't exist, that he only appreciates your features. Listen, y'all setting yourself up for failure. a massive failure. You dealing with humans. What did David do? David saw Bathsheba bathing and say, I want that. Already got all the women he could need and want, then had all thousands of women and say, I want that. Bring her up here. Yeah, come on in here. Yeah, Splackavelli. What? Oh, she married? Oh my goodness. Hey, kill her husband. This David, nah. This David. Solomon got down there. Taste a little piece of that peach cobbler from Delilah. Ooh, girl, cut this hair. Come on now. Like, you got to realize men who could talk audibly to God was living in sin. What you think we going through down here? We don't talk audibly. We can't hear God audibly today. God ain't coming to our hill, to our mountain and shining a light. And we all blind but we get to sit there and listen to God like Moses and them. God ain't doing that today. You got to go deep to have an encounter with God. Men today and women today, because your everyday woman is having threesomes. Your everyday woman is masturbating every day. I seen a video on my boy Anthony O'Neal page. He had an ad before his last interview of a lady. She's sitting there promoting masturbation. She said, oh, and one of the things you got to do is self-care, orgasms, they're healing. That's debatable, because that could be opening you up to lust, and after a while, that hand and that battery ain't doing it, and you want that pole put on you, and you not married. Listen, when you look around, even not just men struggling spiritually, women struggling spiritually, it's Christian women who know God in full-blown affairs. I'm watching it. I'm dealing with it. It's women, it's coming to me saying, listen, I'm married, but I got another man blowing my back out. And not saying it in those words, but literally letting another man do to them what their husband has never done. Anal, yes. Swallowing, yes. Married women who've been faithful their whole life come to a season and decide to cheat. Everybody is under spiritual warfare. There's an attack on singlehood. There's an attack on relationship. Single men got analysis paralysis. Afraid to commit. Afraid to pull the trigger. Why are these men 35 years old, 36 years old, 38 years old, got money, got platforms, and still single? Why is Anthony O'Neal single? Why is Stephen Labossiere single? Why are these guys single? Y'all know I don't name names. And y'all fellas, if y'all happen to see this, let's sit down and talk about it. Let's sit down and talk about it and expose the spiritual warfare, the analysis paralysis. Like, if you see guys who got it all together and they can't find no wife, what you think going on in the spiritual world? So listen, what you think going on in the relationship world? So listen, there should be no judgment of these singles expressing themselves. There should be an appreciation and a respect, and you sit and you listen and you learn and you have some introspection. Don't worry about what the camera doing. If the camera moving too much, close your eyes and listen. Don't worry about the lighting. Don't worry about the sound. Get the message. Don't miss the forest for the trees. Listen, I got a righteous indignation about this thing, because here I am trying to bring change, trying to help people open their eye, trying to help people see themselves. And we'll focus on, yeah, I didn't like the fact that he was cursing. So I'm not going to be able to listen to this
and get the message or just hear what everybody else said because one person is cursing. Because my ears are just too holy, and I'm excuse me, I'm supping with the Lord. Me and the Lord have coffee. Okay, I know the Lord. So when I hear a curse word, I gotta go get my olive oil. And that's how people sitting there acting like, listen, this the real world. Your son cussing. Your daughter cussing. Your husband gonna cuss. He might not cuss when you meet him, but when he get mad, he gonna cuss. So now when you 9 years into marriage, and your husband all of a sudden decide he finna start cussing because it represents authenticity, what you finna do? Get up and get a divorce? You gonna see that cussing different. You gonna be like, well, got 3 kids, been married 9 years, and now this man won't start cussing. You gonna have to take it to the Lord in prayer. It's like, understand, we are not perfect. Nobody is perfect. Everybody is flawed. I'm not who you think I am. You know me online. You don't know me behind closed doors. Cherie Gaskin know me behind closed doors. And she could be ready to divorce me right now today. You know why? Because I'm a human being. And I don't know. I could be doing something wrong and don't know it. Because we cannot stand outside of ourselves and look in. So we could leave a comment in the comment section and look absolutely stupid. We could look absolutely dumb. We could look absolutely ignorant, insensitive, and just childish. And we don't know because we can't see ourselves. Somebody else got to look and be like, oh, that was dumb. That was judgmental. That was ignorant. And you may have no clue. You may have no clue. So listen, like Kanye or somebody say they sensitive about their stuff. Listen, I'm sensitive about my stuff because when I take and I produce something and I couldn't be there. This production went on because the house was booked and paid for and I got sick. Remember, I was sick. I was in my home gym shooting videos. You remember that? This is when this was filmed. That's why I was supposed to be there moderating it and be there in the middle. But guess what? I know how people act when I meet them in person. They not themselves because they see me online. So subconsciously, even though you don't worship somebody, even though you know somebody is human, you still have a respect for people that you look up to online. And you're not going to be 100% authentic. If I was sitting in there moderating, the conversation would have been totally different. Lex probably wouldn't have been cursing that much. And he probably wouldn't have been as real and raw because he don't know me. And he would have been like, oh, this is a life coach, this is an author. Let me be respectful because some people treat me like a pastor. Them women, as these episodes go on and they express themselves, that probably would have been suppressed because they know that I know what a wife look like. They know that I'm married, that I would be the only married man in the room. The camera guy not married, and he young. He they age, 28, 29. So here I am, 38. I would have been the oldest person in the room. I've been married 15 years. I'm a devout Christian. I'm a celebrity life coach. I got 3.5 million followers online. That is going to shift the energy in the room. Anybody who come in the room, you shift the atmosphere with your aura, your personality. And then when your resume come out, the atmosphere shifts. When your background come out, the atmosphere shifts. So I actually love the fact that God had me sick and I could not be there because I feel like the conversation was more real and raw. Because even Caleb my mentee, MJ my mentee. So their energy would have been different. We could say all day, oh no, I know you, Tony, I'd have been real. But no, you shift. Things shift naturally. I'm different around Caleb than I am around my wife. I'm different around MJ than I am around my wife, than I am around my father, than I am around my homeboy from college that I don't mentor. Energy shifts. And so what y'all getting is a fly on the wall perspective. And I'm believing God one day I have the money to be able to pay these people. These people did this for free. These people left their house, left their job for free. And everybody couldn't stay the whole time. You'll see that. Because it was, people had obligations. This free. And so this by the grace of God, something like this could be curated and put together. Whereas when you look at other people productions, they got budgets. They got budgets. They could have backing. They could have sponsors. They could have, stuff in the water. It could be other stuff in the water that's helping them produce that. So you can't compare apples to oranges. So as you watching this, I'm telling you, if you want to, because you never know the sentence that's going to be your breakthrough. You never know. You never know what's going to be said that changes your life. You never know. It could be on the very last episode. And if you want to be here for that, be mindful of your commentary. Add something to the conversation. Share your mindset instead of critiquing theirs. Instead of focusing on the camera or the sound or the lighting, focus on the message. Don't miss the message looking for mess. It's like, come on now. We got to be better than that. I had to block some people, and some people had unsubscribed. You still gonna see the video just because you unsubscribe. It's still on the algorithm. It's like, listen, it's like we so sensitive as humans, and that's why we failing as a world. Because we too sensitive. Because we too boxed in. Because we too judgmental. Because we can't be open-minded. Because we can't see people for who they are. That's why we boxed in the world, and that's why we losing. That's why we in the state that we in. Because when something don't fit our narrative, instead of seeking to understand, then be understood. Hey, this is Tony Gaston. Just to recap, God bless you. And we will talk soon. Remember, got class Saturday for the aspiring authors. Birth Your Book live. You'll see it on TonyGastonAcademy.com. Make sure that if you're not subscribed, you hit the subscribe button and you hit the bell so that you're notified, because the next episode of this is set for next Wednesday. And it'll be 8:30 p.m., I believe. And it may be a premiere so that you can comment live as it's going on. I'll see. I'll decide. Just sometimes people be too, me personally, I care about people. I care about people. I care, and I think about people's feelings. And so I think about people's feelings. And so that's why, and I am a protector by nature. So I be ready. I will virtually block you if you say something disrespectful about these people that's on this show. So I had to block some people who was coming at certain people on these shows. And so them people maybe never even seen the comment, because I'm watching it and I saw it early and was able to get on it. But people coming at different people, even people that's not on the screen, people coming at the cameraman, it's like, come on now. Like, what the heck? Like, can you do a better job if you get into the industry then? Come on and get in the industry then. And focus on the message. So that's why I didn't premiere it, because I didn't want them live comments that's going up with everybody watching, because people, we want a grandstand, and then we will say stupid stuff to make it about us, because we want people to laugh, and so we bullying people and we talking bad about people to make it about us, so that we get some shine and we get to feel good about ourselves by putting somebody else down. And that's not respectful. So even like when I'm mentioning these single men, I'm not bashing these single men and saying that they not fit and that they not good men and that they not this and that. I'm saying we need to hear their perspective to understand. I'm talking about these single men with these platforms, to understand, why are they single?
What are they looking for? What are they waiting on? How is it millions of women and not one is wife material? Like, what is this? So then we understand and we see that this spiritual warfare, this deeper than just selection, this deeper than just opportunity and options, this spiritual that the adversary trying to block these unions, the adversary trying to keep people, separate, trying to divide men and women. And so you got to understand the purpose of this. And I know about my brother thing he did with Singles in the House. And when we talked about it, I had already had this plan. We had the young lady who produced Titles, she had sent me a whole deck. I shared my deck of this project from her. I shared that with Anthony because he told me he was getting ready to do it. I said, oh man, I already got that in the can. So, and I share that for those of y'all who think I'm copying. No, I'm an innovator. I always be a step ahead. I already had this, but we just hadn't pulled the trigger yet. Because I was changing my mind, because I was thinking about doing it with couples. And one day we'll do it with couples so the singles could get to see what couples go through. And that right there is hard, because I was just thinking, I'm like, man, if me and my wife is one of the couples, which we won't be because that's not her personality. But I'm like, man, if me and my wife one of the couples, that could be damaging to your relationship. Because if you're trying to be open and honest, you kind of putting your partner on the hot seat, and you kind of exposing your partner. You kind of saying he don't do this, she don't do that. And then you got people chiming in, oh yeah, she wrong. Oh yeah, he wrong. Oh yeah, I'll leave him. Oh yeah, I'll leave her. And then now these people that's married, and they trying to work through their relationship, and they go to the comments, and there's a bunch of people, leave him, leave her. Oh, he this, oh, she that. They like, whoa, man, I thought it was gonna help my relationship. It hurt my relationship. So I have to think about that stuff because I want to do good. And if you notice, when you watch reality TV destroy the lives of the cast. Like they real life. They money go up. They fame go up. But they real life, 9 out of 10 times, get obliterated. Because they put in all their business and their life and everything out there to be, and it's not controlled. Like me, I'm going to block you because it's on my network. But VH1, Bravo, all that, they can't go on the World Wide Web and block people and delete stuff when these people is getting ripped to shreds and they getting talked about like a dog. So these people go into depression. You know how I know? Because I'm a celebrity life coach. I coach these reality stars. These people go into depression. These people be struggling because of the opinions of outsiders who are just as human as them, just as flawed as them, but then got the nerve to sit high and judge because they on TV. And I done judged them. I done went off on them. I done told them y'all crazy for doing that. Y'all on there pushing the wrong message for money. I done came at them like that. We all do that. That's human nature. And that's why I take the stance I take, because I had to learn. These people get on these shows on TV a lot of times because they need the money. Not because they trying to help, not because they trying to express a viewpoint, because they need the money. They need the exposure to get their other businesses off the ground, to get their restaurant off the ground, to get their book published, to get their debt paid down. They need the money, and they do what it takes to get that money and hope that it don't ruin them too bad. The Lord had to show me, Tony, stop judging. You ain't better than now one of them. Stop judging and start seeking to understand. And that's what we got to start doing as the body of Christ, is if you sit there and you're supposed to win souls, but you tell Lex that you can't listen to him talk, you can't accept him as he is, he can't come as he is, then how you going to win his soul if you can't accept him for who he is? And then let him see who you are, and let him see that you think like this, you move like this,
and he see, oh man, you know, it look like you got a little more peace. It maybe look like you got some clarity. Maybe look like you got this, man. I want a little piece of that. But if he come and he is like this, or Caleb like this, or MJ like this, or Sight Glamour, and the other two young ladies, they like this, and we judging them, then how are we better if we judging them? How can we help them see or grow or see another perspective if we pushing them off in judgment? You can't. And so understand the purpose of this, and let this help you as a person grow. Let this help you grow. Let this help you evolve. Let this help you mature. Instead of talking about their level of maturity, where is your level of maturity? Because if you in the comments commenting on their level of maturity, then what does that say about your level of maturity? If you can't understand that not everybody gonna see life the way you see it. I understand that. That's why you've never seen me. And if you ever see it, it might be once a year. You've never seen me. When you go to the blogs, when you go to these other posts and they post this relationship stuff, you've never seen me in the comments. Because I understand that people in different places. I'll speak about it on my platform, but I'm not finna comment on there, so that way if they don't know me, then they ain't got to hear my viewpoint. And if they coming to me, then they coming to hear my viewpoint. That means my advice is being solicited if they come to me. But I'm not going to go on their platform or on their page and give them advice, because that is unsolicited advice. And I learned that from Hollywood when I was trying to send scripts in, and they sent it right back to you unopened and say, and got a stamp on there and say, we do not accept unsolicited material. Listen, stop giving unsolicited advice. You put it on your platform, and if people happen to see it, that means they are soliciting your advice. They came to you to hear what you got to say. Other than that, we support and love. We support and love, and we share our viewpoint without critiquing and bashing. You share, well, this is how I feel about this. This is how I define dating. This is how I define this. And you speaking for yourself, but you're not speaking against somebody else. You're speaking for yourself. So understand that, so that these episodes, because we got a good amount. We may have 5 or 8, or, we may have a good amount of episodes. So understand that, so that this is productive and not destructive. Productive and not destructive. So that we can get the message and allow it to help us learn and grow. Because even though I'm married, I'm learning and growing. Because if I hear this young lady say, oh, I expect this right here from my husband. Like, I want a husband who could do some stuff around the house. I'm like, dang, I need to take a couple classes, because, well, I'm sorry around the house, but I barely could do anything around the house. So now I'm a married man growing, and I'm like, okay, that's why my wife be looking at me crazy when she on the ladder and she got the drill and she doing this and that, because that's her personality. But then when I hear the young man say, well, hey, a woman might be able to change a doorknob better than me because, for whatever reason. You know what that reason would be? Because her dad was in construction and she was on the job site. So now, if my dad did not do construction and he did not use his hands like that, and I don't know how to change a doorknob, that don't make me less of a man if a woman can change a doorknob and she was taught how to change a doorknob. Some men have not been taught how to change a tire. But guess what? That don't mean he won't love your socks off. That don't mean he won't be 100% faithful to you. So do you rather a man know how to change a tire and cheat on you, or a man be faithful to you and can't change a tire? This is about expanding your mind. This is about changing your perspective. This is about taking your hard and fast rules that you have that may be the reason why you're struggling in your relationship or in your single life, because of your preferences and standards and your hard and fast rules. This is about challenging those viewpoints to see if you need to see something differently, and to make a tweak and to make a change, so that you could be more understanding and accepting, so that you can get the person that you're supposed to be with, and then the two of you grow together. because neither one of you are perfect and both of you are flawed, and nobody fits inside of your box that you have in your mind. Nobody. So understand that and let this benefit you. Let this help you grow. And I had to come in and be very real on this, and y'all forgive me. But that's my thing, being direct. God bless you. We'll talk soon.